good, you guys? Just out there here in Singapore. Thank you so much for joining me on the Night Owl Podcast. And as always, I got some things to say. I got some stuff on my heart I want to put out there. Mostly because, as always, I am wide open. I come in with an open heart. I really do try to understand and see things as they are, and then maybe get it from a different perspective. So as much as I listen to the way people complain and the way people describe their lives and really are upset about the things that they're having to deal with, the frustration, the disappointment, all that stuff, it all comes from a specific place of not being felt that their needs are being met, and somehow that they're not getting the things that they need in life to be able to feel like they could flourish. So I want to talk about right now what it means to be broken. A lot of people talk about, I'm broken. I don't know about, life going forward because so many things have happened to me. I've seen all of this darkness in my life. I don't know what to do about it. But I want to tell you something. When something is broken, I see it as full of the possibility of being able to be fixed. I mean, if you have a remote control that breaks down, the first thing you go to do is not throw it out the window. You try actually to troubleshoot and see if you can fix it. Same with TVs and electronics. Electronics are pretty like the simple example, right, to say that it can be fixed. Obviously, anything that's mechanical also could be fixed. There is a way that you could hem something that's come undone, or fix a hole in some clothing. There is a way to fix errors in Word documents and imaging and design work. There's always a way to fix something. I mean, customer support's sole purpose is to troubleshoot and fix things. Obviously, they do the easy way out and say, have you turned it off and turned it back on or rebooted? But outside of that, they do try to troubleshoot, and they do try to see if there's a way to fix it. There's a way to fix programming, to adjust and correct color and sound and, web coding. There's so much that you can do. But a lot of times we don't look for those answers. Now, when it comes to people, we just assume that, hey, the trauma has done its thing and now you're just damaged for life. But that's not the case. Anything that adjusts you means that it can be unadjusted or readjusted. Just like you make a habit to wake up early in the morning because you have a morning 9-to-5 job or whatever. If you suddenly have a night shift job, you can change that habit. You can adjust it. You're not broken. There is an opportunity to fix or correct or adjust along the way. And it breaks my heart, y'all, when people go into therapy and they ask for, a diagnosis of some sort. They want to know what's wrong with them. And okay, you feel like something is wrong with you, but that's not the way I see it. When people come to me, I do not sit there and tell them all the things that are wrong with them. I do try to explain why they possibly do the things that they do and why possibly they started this habit in the first place. Maybe it's a coping mechanism. Maybe it's the way they see the world now and it's a defense mechanism. Maybe it's something they've begun doing to make themselves feel safer. Like all of these little behaviors came about in an effort to avoid pain, to stop yourself from experiencing that pain again or going through something that was traumatizing once before. So you put up these walls to protect yourself. You avoid certain types of people because it reminds you of other people in your life in the past that have caused you harm at some point. Maybe it's certain areas and places. Maybe you were trapped in a game of hide and seek and you couldn't get out. And so from then onwards, you're kind of claustrophobic because it reminds you of that one time where you felt panic and out of control and did not feel like you had the resources to be able to help yourself. So all of these things come about from certain types of trauma, right? And I believe that just like it was taught to you and you've learned to manage with it or to cope with it, it can be unlearned as well. As much as we've been taught to believe that there is one path to life, that you're supposed to go through school and then get a job and then get married and raise a family and have a house and all that stuff, we also can choose for ourselves and do something completely opposite. I remember back in the day when ripped jeans was considered a sign of, a lower class family that didn't have the means or the money to be able to buy new, so they dealt with ripped jeans. Well, guess what? Ripped jeans are the fashion now, so you can tell who it was that became the fashion designers after time. It was the people who went through situations where they could not influence the people around them at the time, and they were told that it was not cool, it was not cute, it was demeaning or demoralizing, or they were judged for being poor or from a non-affluent background, that all these things came about. High waters, right? I see a lot of men with skinny jeans and high waters all of a sudden. Back in the day, people would think that, that means that you didn't have enough money to buy clothes that fit you, you're still wearing stuff that no longer fits, right? You've grown out of them. Where's the flood is what they usually ask, right? Super big clothes back in the day when our parents used to buy clothes that were too big for us so that we could grow into them because we grew so fast at the time they couldn't tell what size we were. And so eventually elephant pants and stovepipe jeans and all that stuff became the thing. It was carpenter jeans because they were utility oriented and meant to be able to hang all your tools on. And then somebody decided, you know what, that's kind of cool, we're going to wear it anyway. So all of those things change meaning. And if fashion can change meaning, there's no reason that you can't reframe things that you've lived through in order to find more freedom in your life right now. So as much as you may feel like you're broken, I feel like those broken bits and pieces, those cracks in your armor, are spaces that you can fill with ideas and beliefs that will give you the space that you need or the permission that you need to expand a little bit more and do more than you did before. A lot of times trauma is an excuse to kind of close up and push the rest of the world away. It's our defense mechanism. We want to keep things away from us that may hurt us, but at the same time, we block out all of those good experiences that would disprove our theories that are based on one or two occurrences, one or two interactions, right? So it's very, very difficult to know which ones are going to hurt us and which ones aren't. So all I can say is, rather than think that you're broken and beyond repair, that there's no hope for you, there's no way that you could heal from this, I would love for you to find some kind of hope to believe that there is a way to fix these things. And not even say fix as in like you're so broken or you're damaged or any of those things. It's not meant to be derogatory. Something broke your spirit. Something pushed you down and you feel like you were less than you actually are. And for a while, maybe you believe that to be true, but that isn't to say that you can't believe something different as well. That isn't to say that with the right people around you, you could learn to see that, you know, what was threatening to somebody, and so they felt the need to push you down or keep you from accomplishing more than they did, could be seen as inspiration to other people, which means you have permission to continue soaring in the path that you've chosen for yourself, and people looking up to you saying like, oh my gosh, okay, I never saw life that way. I'm so glad you exist because now you can show me what else is possible. Every one of us has a specific outlook on life. Every one of us has a specific way we see the world that is before the world tells us who we're supposed to be or how we're supposed to be, right? So as much as one person may say that, oh my gosh, you're damaged goods, you're broken, that doesn't necessarily have to be true. And it really does boil down to, what is it that you believe? Let me take me, for example, right? I did everything the way I thought I was supposed to. I went to school, I went to college, I got a second degree, I got a job, I raised a family, I got married. Like I did all of these things in order like I thought I was supposed to. But even then, divorce happened, right? Now, for a divorce to happen doesn't mean there's anything wrong with me, and it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with him. It's just that we did not filter well enough all the way in the beginning for us to have parted ways sooner. Instead, we came all the way to the finish line of getting married, and then past that for a little ways where we started raising a family together, and then for some reason we just couldn't hold up the appearances that we had created along the way. We couldn't keep the facade going any longer, and we were just fed up with the people that we were becoming and the lack of room in the relationship for us to grow and become different people. Like, people forget that the person you meet when you first start dating is not going to be the person that you end up, growing old with. You're going to change and adjust along the way, but there's nothing wrong with that. Now, coming back to the point, I was seen as defective because here I am, young still, and divorced with a child. So in my culture, that was seen as something's wrong with me. On the one hand, some people were like, oh my God, you're so brave. You walked out of a really bad marriage. I'm so proud of you. But on the other hand, they were like, wow, you know what? Yeah, but she's divorced though. There's something wrong with her. Obviously, how do we get her married off again? We can't get her married off to anyone who isn't divorced as well. Or it will, she might destroy this young person who's never been married before. She may hurt the person that, hasn't had a chance at a fresh start before. So she's already damaged goods. She could influence the rest of our community, and that's not what we want. So for all intents and purposes, I was doing the best I could to raise a strong, healthy family. It didn't work out for me. I had to walk away because I realized the example I was setting for my kids. They were watching everything that I was doing, and I did not want them to know that putting up with certain kinds of BS is not normal. You can say what you need to say, and you can walk away if that's the last straw for you. You're allowed to walk away. But when I come back home to a backwards thinking culture, because Asians are very, very narrow-minded, they have their customs and their traditions, and they're very, very steeped in all of that legendary culture or whatever, and that's cool for them, but it did not fit who I was. And at the time, I thought that maybe there was something wrong with me. Maybe I didn't try hard enough. Maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe I was broken in some way, and that's why things didn't work out the way that they should have. But should is a big expectation, and it's a imaginary one at that. It's not that everyone has the same outcome. No one ends up at the same place or in the same race for that matter. So I had to wrestle with the fact that I am not broken. I made some mistakes, yes. There's nothing that I did that I cannot undo except for death and dismemberment, obviously. But for the most part, I can backtrack and I can change the way I did things or make different decisions if the situation pops up again in the future. I learned that because I did not fit one person's ideal of the perfect woman or the perfect love or the perfect marriage, doesn't mean that I am defective or less than or broken in any way. I knew that there were parts of my life and parts of my communication and my belief systems that no longer fit me, and I didn't realize that until I walked out of that marriage. And at that point, I had a chance to actually sit down with my belief system and decide, okay, well, does this fit me still or not? Can I adjust this? Is there another way to think about these things or believe the way the way that the world works, so that I have permission and space to become a better person, a stronger person, a more calm, whole, lovable person than I already am. And it's not to say that I was broken. I was affected, definitely. But when things are labeled as broken, I see them as having the opportunity to be fixed or the opportunity to be improved, to be updated somehow, or to be, fitted with new parts. The programming can be updated. There are things about her that she no longer needs to believe anymore because it doesn't fit who she is anymore. She's changed, she's evolved, she's grown so much from the person that she was when she first met that man. And now I have the ability to choose for myself what fits my lifestyle, what success means to me, what a productive life means to me, what a safe household means to me, what does it mean to be efficient inside a household, how do I need to get things done so that I feel loved and taken care of and appreciated, and what does my daughter need in response to me being in a good space as well. So what does she need for her to feel whole and happy and safe as well? And bit by bit, I was able to take every piece of my life and improve upon what they were. Yes, when I first came back home, I felt broken. But I'm not broken in the sense that I need to be thrown away and start from scratch. I was broken in the sense that there were parts of me that didn't fit, so they broke off. They were splintered. They were damaged along the way. And anything, soccer balls, baseball bats, you use them enough, there are pieces of them that chip away or break off or are roughed up a little bit. They're not the shiny new basketball or baseball that you bought when you first got it in the store. They are worn and torn by life, and that's okay. And that's the part that I need you guys to understand. Broken does not mean it can't be fixed. Broken means there's parts of you that no longer fit who you actually are now. The belief system we had when we were 5, where we believed in Santa and we believed in the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy and money under your pillow, all that stuff, that worked at the time, and it made you feel good, and it made you have something to look forward to and hope for in the future. But eventually what you realized was they don't exist. It was your mom and dad feeding you some stuff so that you would feel like there was still magic in the world, and you realize that, life is not quite so magical in that sense anymore. There's different magic. And you need to upgrade your belief system. Not to say that there's nothing to hope for. Not to say that love isn't worth it. Not to say that there isn't some magical experiences in the world around you. But the magic is different because you are different. And that's okay. So the last thing I want you guys to go through life thinking is that you're broken and can't be fixed. That's not the truth at all. You're worn a little bit by life. Yes, you've been roughed up a little bit. There are parts of you that don't fit anymore. And like clothes that you've grown out of, it's time to shed those things and get some new ones, which means you get to choose for yourself what you wear, how you dress yourself, how you feel, what is pretty to you now versus what was pretty to you when you were 15. Let's go back at those old albums and take a look, shall we? Because some of those pictures look hideous. I know for a fact. I don't know what the hell I thought I was wearing or what fashion choices I thought I was making at the time, but that's not who I am anymore. And I don't have to be that person anymore. I can be who I want to be right now in this moment. So I hope this gives you some hope. I hope you realize that you are not broken. And even if you feel like you're broken, there's nothing to say that you can't fix it and feel better about yourself. You just got to change some of the beliefs you have and upgrade that programming a little bit. Yeah? I love you guys, and I hope this helps. Bye.